Hello. So I used to have a day job, and I worked in an office with about 30 women, and there was only one bathroom. Yeah, so there was always a line for the ladies. And one day I remember I was waiting in line when this really large pregnant woman kind of waddles up, and I'm about to go in when the woman behind me was like, "Hey, aren't you gonna let the pregnant woman go first?" I was like, "No." She's like, "But she's pregnant." I was like, "Well, then she can use this time to practice keeping her legs together, then can't she?" I don't inconvenience others with my mistakes. Which, come to find out, is a great way to go talk to HR. So that was fun. So I travel around a lot, and I've seen a bunch of these bumper stickers that say, like, "Keep Austin weird" or "Keep Portland weird." But I live here in San Francisco, and you will never see a bumper sticker that says "Keep San Francisco weird." You know, because we don't need that reminder. You know? If anything, we need little bumper stickers that say, "Yeah, try stay a bit normal." Like, I remember there was one time I was outside with my friend and we were smoking, and this really old man comes up to us, and he's got an eye patch and he's wearing a live cat as a scarf. And he looks at my friend and goes, "You're too pretty to smoke." And then he turns to me and goes, "Do you have a quarter?" It's like, you need to work on your sales pitch. So I'm single, and I miss certain things about being in a relationship. Like, I miss cuddling. I really like that. I think it's great, you know, holding each other, just like, I think it's romantic and adorable. What I don't miss is when they snore. And apparently every guy I've ever slept with is a snorer. And if you've ever slept with someone that snores, you know that they sleep way deeper than anyone else. Yeah, and to actually wake them up, you have to get a bit aggressive about it. So when you finally do wake them up, they're all pissed. And you're like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just trying to cut you a new, quieter hole." The hurting was just a plus. But I was dating this one guy, and we were out at dinner, and I was kind of complaining about how he's not so great at texting me back. And he's like, "What do you do, kill me?" And I was like, "About a quarter cups of eye drops in your water will do it." And he's like, "You live in the middle of San Francisco, what do you do with the body?" I was like, "Well, if I kill you in my apartment, all I have to do is drag you into the bathtub. Then I'm just gonna need 3 bottles of bleach, a really big knife, and a big hammer. Because once I have you in the bathtub, what you do is you make incisions in all the major arteries and then perform CPR on the body, because even though you're dead, the heart still works as a pump and will move all the blood. Then you go take the bleach, pour the bleach down the drain, kill the DNA of it, and say smell that might be lingering around. After that, go ahead, take that big hammer, start working away at the joints, kind of tenderizing them. Now this is gonna take a while, so you'll be in for the night. When you're done tenderizing the joints, don't forget the face, because you don't want the teeth in there either. After that, go ahead, take that big knife, start sawing away at those tenderized joints. It should go through pretty easy, but if it does get stuck, you can take your hammer and kind of push it through. Now, when you're done, you're going to want between 6 and 8 different pieces, depending how industrious you're feeling. And then you can go and bury them in different parts of the city or throw them over the Golden Gate Bridge. If there's a pig farm nearby, you can give to them, because they'll go through bone like a hot knife through butter. Yeah. And then I look up, and he is creeped out. Apparently that is not good conversation material for date 3. But he did text back a lot faster. So I feel I win. And now, weirdly enough, I don't get hit on a lot after my shows. I don't know why. But when I do, it tends to scare the hell out of me. I had some guy come up to me last week, he was like, "Hey, I really like the show. It was funny. Do you watch Dexter?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, it's this great show about a serial killer who kills other bad people. I really think you'd like it. I have all the seasons. You should come over and watch it sometime. 'Cause you missed a couple of steps." I know, I was like, "Great, I'm going to die. And no one will ever find that body." So obviously, I'm a really big fan of horror movies. Any fan of horror movies in here? Yeah, like 5 people. Awesome, this joke is gonna be great. Doing it anyways. But I've seen hundreds and hundreds of horror movies, so I always kind of figured if I ever found myself in that horror movie situation, I'd be fine. I would totally know what to do. You know, and it's totally plausible. You're walking home late one night, and all of a sudden you find yourself in some deserted cemetery with mist shrouding the ground. There's a full moon and wolves howling in the background. You look down, you have bigger boobs and intact virginity, and suddenly you know what to do. You're gonna save yourself, the world, and finally get laid. But recently I found out that no, that is not the case. I am that snarky friend that dies the most painful of all the deaths. Yeah, because I was walking home after a show through the Tenderloin, and now if you're not familiar with San Francisco, the Tenderloin is not our best area. Technically, it's our worst. And I was walking through and there was a homeless man there, which is totally normal. There's lots of homeless men in the Tenderloin. What wasn't normal is that he was holding a pickaxe and he was digging away at the ground and what I can only assume was mining for crack. And now I didn't want to be rude and cross the other side of the street, so I just continue on my way. When he looks up at me, he growls, grabs the pickaxe, and then lunges towards me and starts digging away at a new vein at my feet. And my whole response to this was, I don't have any change. Which is not the right response whatsoever. I mean, first off, he actually didn't ask me for any change. He's employed. He's a crack miner. You know? Probably not as lucrative as the crack whore, but I shouldn't judge. And secondly, the fact that I didn't know what to do when a pickaxe was coming towards me, one of the most common murder weapons in horror movies, is just heartbreaking. I realized that I don't have a fight or flight response. I just go straight to stupid. And that hurts. As I said, I have a day job and I'm a comedian, so I am broke. So I live in this tiny little studio apartment, and I have this friend that likes to pop by at random hours. Like today, she wakes me up at the butt crack of dawn. It was like 2 p.m. But anyways, I go to the door to let her in, and I look back at my bed and I realize, oh crap, I've left my vibrator out. Which, not a big deal, everyone masturbates, good times. It was what was lying next to my vibrator that gave me pause. Because right next to my vibrator was a copy of the Diary of Anne Frank. Yeah, and in my head I'm like, no, those two do not go together. I mean, one is kind of sad and depressing, and the other one's just light Holocaust reading. But then I was like, well, maybe I can hide one real quick. Which one should I hide? It's like, Anne Frank. Yeah, because you know she'll stay quiet. As I said, I am broke, so sometimes for extra money I do bit roles in TVs and movies, but I found that I get typecast a lot. I'm either nerdy girl or abusive mom. Yeah. And now these are all cast via a picture, so I'm wondering, what about me physically? Says avid reader and likes to shake babies. Because I mean, it is dead on. Thanks, you guys have been great. My name is Colleen Watson.